Greetings, welcome to Vivid Nightmares, where your nightmares will come true. My name is Clara. This is the story of the night I decided to visit the old village cemetery, a place of which haunting stories were always told, but to which I had never had the courage to go. One night, however, curiosity overcame fear, and I ventured out alone. The cemetery was on the outskirts, surrounded by a dense forest. I arrived shortly after dark, the full moon dimly illuminating the path between the moss-covered tombstones. The air was cold and heavy, and the silence was almost absolute, broken only by the rustling of my footsteps on the dry leaves. As I progressed, a sense of unease began to grow in my chest. The shadows of the tombs and statues seemed to move on the periphery of my vision. I kept telling myself that it was just a play of light and shadow, but I couldn't help but feel that something was watching me. I came to an old crypt in the center of the cemetery. The iron door was ajar, and an inscription in Latin could be read above the arch. My curiosity led me to push open the door, which opened with a high-pitched, piercing creak. Inside, the air was even denser and more humid. I turned on my flashlight and moved forward. Suddenly, I heard a soft, almost imperceptible whisper. I stopped, holding my breath. The whisper became a murmur, as if several voices were speaking at once, words I couldn't understand but echoed in my mind. I felt a chill run through me and my flashlight began to flicker. The tension was unbearable. I turned, determined to get out of the crypt, but the door slammed shut, leaving the only light of my flashlight shaking. The murmurs grew louder, more urgent, as if the voices were trying to warn me or perhaps threaten me. My heart was pounding, and the feeling of being watched intensified. As I tried to open the door in desperation, I noticed a figure in the gloom. I couldn't see her clearly, but her presence was unmistakable. She was tall and thin, her eyes shining with an eerie light. Fear paralyzed me for a moment, but I managed to force the door and run away. The murmur persisted until I was out of the crypt. I paused to take a breath, looking into the dark entrance. The figure had disappeared, but the feeling of being watched did not fade. I ran through the cemetery, feeling the invisible gazes behind me until I finally reached the exit. Since that night, I have not been able to forget the murmurs or that figure. Nightmares haunt me, and sometimes, as I wake up, I feel the shadows in my room move in a similar way to that night in the cemetery. I don't know what I found, but I'm sure something from there follows me, lurking in the darkness. Thank you for watching this video. Remember and dream about your innermost demons. Bye. Greetings, welcome to Vivid Nightmares, where your nightmares will come true. My name is Clara. This is the story of the night I decided to visit the old village cemetery, a place of which haunting stories were always told, but to which I had never had the courage to go. One night, however, curiosity overcame fear, and I ventured out alone. The cemetery was on the outskirts, surrounded by a dense forest.